Tonight we're going to talk about the New World economy and how the economy of Europe and kind of the world is going to shift, as well as the Columbian exchange and the trade imbalance that results of it. It's important to know that we're skipping a step. Tomorrow's objective is number 7, and it's about European exploration. So it's going to explain how Europe got to the Americas in the first place. But for now, today, let's assume, but then we're also going to go into this afterwards. So let's assume that Europe has arrived in the Americas, and now here's what happens. And so we're going a little out of order, but it'll make a lot of sense tomorrow. So, you should number your notes number 8. And here we go. So the Columbian exchange gets its name, hopefully you made the connection, from Columbus, because it's his contacts. And the Columbian exchange is a biological exchange. It means it's an exchange of food and disease. Things that are passed from people to people. Okay, the Columbian exchange is early on, and we'll talk about how it shifts later, but the first few years after the Europeans arrive in the Americas, we have what is called the Columbian exchange. The Columbian exchange does not include culture, because that's different from biology. So it does not include the exchange of language or religion or traditions or social patterns or government philosophies. It's not a cultural exchange. It is simply of goods and consequently diseases. Okay, for this portion you should use the map on the PowerPoint. It's also on your notes to identify 3 food products that were brought from Europe to the Americas or from Africa to the Americas. So take a look, pick 3. And then you should also identify 3 products, food products specifically, brought from the Americas to Europe. And fill in the blanks. We're going to go over this tomorrow. This is a short video that we'll watch tomorrow about the effects of the Columbian exchange. And mercantilism is another effect of the Columbian exchange. So mercantilism is a concept we'll go over tomorrow, but essentially there are some rules to mercantilist policies. One, mercantilism should also connect you with the word merchant, and so it has a lot to do with trade. And if you look here, this is the United States and Mexico, and you can see that the Spanish influenced Mexico and most of the Caribbean. The United States is influenced by the English and the French, and a little bit of the Spanish, like Florida and Texas, etc. Canada was largely influenced by the French. But this just kind of gives you an idea of the earliest settlements. So the rules of mercantilism that you need to get down are that nations should not import or buy goods from outside their overseas empire. This means that nations like France should only get their goods from their North American colonies. They don't want to be buying goods from Spain. That means they're giving their money to Spain. Instead, they want their colonies to support them entirely. The other rule, which contradicts the first rule, is that nations should export or sell their goods as wisely as possible. So Spain should try to sell the gold from Mexico to the British. And that way they are getting, or not the gold necessarily, but maybe potatoes. That way they are getting money from the British and gaining money from their colonies. The next rule is that you need to keep your colonies from manufacturing. This means you do not want your colonies in the Americas to be able to take raw materials like plants and things you grow and make them into finished goods like clothes and furniture, because you want your colonies to be reliant and dependent on you, Spain, or you, Britain, for those items. So that means your colonies have to give money to Spain for furniture and for clothes, and that benefits Spain. The fourth rule is that keep yours, again, European nations, want to keep their silver and gold because these are what make a nation rich. So Spain doesn't want to be giving their silver and gold away to Britain or to their colonies. They want to hold on to it as much as they can. Think from your reading tonight, where can these nations get silver and gold from? So this is the trade imbalance that you should draw. But essentially the idea is that the mother country or the European country has this treasury. They want to hold all their gold and silver. The other rule is that they want to have more exports or basically sell more things than they buy. They want to have fewer imports. That means they're spending less money and saving more and earning more. The last rule is that you do not want your colonies to manufacture. So that's all the way on the right, that cycle on the right, which you should be drawing. And the idea is that the colonies are producing gold and silver and furs and lumber and foodstuffs and tobacco. They send them to the mother country, to Spain, to Britain, etc. And the mother country is going to make that tobacco into cigarettes, or make that lumber into furniture, or make the furs into coats and clothes and blankets, etc. And then they're going to sell those manufactured goods back to the colonies at a higher price. And so they make money. The European countries do. The colonies do not benefit from this system. So this is where we are going to leave off today, and